Okay, so I decided to make another video. This is going to be my PlayStation 3 video game collection. I recently just made one of my PS4 collection, so I decided to do one for my PlayStation 3. I'm going to try and keep this one shorter than that last one. I didn't have very many last time. The video ended up being like 14 minutes or so, I'm going to try and get through this fairly quickly, or at least quicker than the last one, because there is a lot. And I'll probably only talk about the ones that I really care about, and it's very important, so yeah, I guess I'm gonna try and do these. I got these arranged in, I believe, chronological order. There might be one or two or three out of place, but yeah, I'm just gonna start from the top and work my way down. Okay, so the first one here is Resistance: Fall of Man. Big at the time. I didn't care much for it when it came out, but I do like it now more, just because it's different than what I'm normally used to play. MotorStorm. This game came with the system. I probably wouldn't have bought it if it hadn't come with it. Individually, I mean. Uncharted, Drake's Fortune. This was, I think, the first game I ever bought. I bought it like right around when it came out, so I had it by Christmas 2007. I think I was one of the few people that bought it when it right around when it came out. Kind of flew in under the radar. I really liked it. It was a really good game, and I'm probably one of the few people on YouTube that have the black label copy. But well, I don't know for that for certain. You can Google around, or excuse me, search around and see for yourself. But yeah, one of my favorites. Ratchet and Clank Future, Tools of Destruction. Big fan of the franchise. Pretty decent installment, I thought. Resistance 2, this is the sequel, obviously. Kind of like the first one. They did get rid of the weapon wheel, which I wish they hadn't. I like the weapon wheel, but it is what it is. Infamous. This was made by Sucker Punch. I really like their Sly Cooper trilogy, as I mentioned in the last video, so I had to check out Infamous. I really liked this game. I thought it was really good. I liked Sly a little bit better, but actually I like it a lot better. But Infamous is a good game. I like the landscapes and the enemies you fight and the bosses, but it's a good game, I thought. Uncharted 2, highly anticipated for me personally. I played the first game, obviously, and wasn't really sure how they were going to top themselves because I thought Uncharted 1 was so good. And boy, was I wrong. This game was really, really, really good. It pretty much lives up to all the hype you hear about it if you haven't played it already. But yeah, if you haven't checked it, excuse me, if you haven't checked it out yet, you should really, really try and play this game. It's really good. I'm not sure how it'll feel now, because it did come out, what is it now, 7 years ago? Geez, that's a long time. But we move on. Ratchet and Clank Future, Cracking Time, this was right around when they started to lose me, I thought. For me, some people really liked this game, critics they liked it too, but it just wasn't really for me. This was right around when Ratchet and Clank, or Insomniac rather, started to lose me as a fan. They're going away. I wish they wouldn't. Gran Turismo 5. I do kind of like racing games. My favorite genre is the action adventure, but I do kind of have a thing for racing games and car games in general. I wasn't really a super big fan of MotorStorm, but I like Gran Turismo here. And the Sly collection. I really like the Sly games. It comes with all three of the original games that were on the PS2. Not a bad one in the bunch. I like the first as much as the second, as much as the third. If you haven't played any of the three, highly recommend you check them all out. Just really good bunch of games. Little Big Planet 2. what had happened was I bought a PlayStation 3 in 2007 and it eventually broke, and rather than repairing it or whatever, I decided to buy another one, and this game came with it. I probably wouldn't have bought it if my system hadn't have broken and bought it, but that doesn't mean it's not a good game. It is good. It's very creative. It's just to get the full extent of it, you really have to put the time in to learn everything and figure out how it works. But as far as E-rated games go, you know, pretty high quality game. Pretty good game. Infamous 2, I got this right around when it came out, so that explains all the freaking Walmart again. Whatever you want to call these adverts, I don't know. I don't like it when companies or anyone puts anything on the cover that isn't supposed to be there. I find that annoying. But anyway, there's the back. I just don't like that. The Eco, however it's pronounced, in Shadow of the Colossus collection. I decided to try out these two games because they were both really popular. I haven't really gotten around to it yet. I've been, like I said in the last video, pretty busy, so probably check them out later on. Anyway, I heard they were both really good. Ratchet & Clank All for One. This game came with the new system with Little Big Planet. I didn't like this game, to be honest. I thought it was bad. Again, Insomniac needs to step up their game, I think. Resistance 3, you're probably noticing a pattern here if you haven't already, but Resistance 3, I thought it was the best of the three Resistance, to be honest. Or at least, I think that's how I remember it. This game takes on a different tone from the first two. The first two had like a military vibe. This has more of a horror vibe to it. But yeah, it's maybe the best of the three. I don't know. That's subjective. But you're all entitled to your opinion. Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. Very highly anticipated, especially by me. I wanted to see just how it compared to the second one. It's kind of like the second one, except you just trade in the snow for sand. It had some demons. The story I don't think was as good as the first and the second, but it was a decent installment. I thought the aiming mechanism was a little off in the PlayStation 3 version. The one that's on the PS4, I think they fixed that, so there's that. But anyway, it's still a great game. Still a great game. The Jak and Daxter collection. So we have all three of the Jak games on one disc for PlayStation 3. Not really sure which one of these three is my favorite. Jak and Daxter, I wasn't really a big fan of the Jak and Daxter games. I like Ratchet better. Sly, I really like Sly. Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus. Comes with a voucher for Quest for Booty. This game was this game was better than well, the one coming up I'm about to do next, and the All for One. I thought it was better, but it wasn't as good as the original three, in my opinion. And probably the worst Ratchet and Clank game I played. Full Frontal Assault. Just kind of skip this. You're not missing anything here. And there's the back. Next up we have Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. I decided to check out the fourth one. It's been so long since the third one came out, I had to check this one out. And I have mixed emotions with it. Overall, I think the developers did a very good job with it. I thought the story was, well, not so much the story, but the dialogue I thought was kind of weak compared to the first three. But it's still a fun game to play, but the loading times are awful. They had to, I don't know what they were thinking, they had to clean those load times up. It was loading every 5 minutes or something crazy. But overall, the platforming was pretty good, but it just wasn't as good as the first three. But they could have done a lot worse, to be honest with you, a lot worse. and Ratchet and Clank Collection. These are the original three, the ones that got me hooked on the series. Love the first one, love the second one more, and the third one here is my favorite, as you probably heard me mention in my first video. And there's some screenshots from the first and third game. Some other content on the back. There's Ratchet. Good games. And the Metal Gear Solid collection. I never played Metal Gear Solid, and I heard they were really good, so I decided to check it out. Bought the 5th game first, which kind of felt silly to me, so I decided I'd better try the first 4, so I decided to buy this collection rather than each individual case. I kind of would have rather had each individual case, but that's not how the chips fell, so this is what I got. There's the back. Comes with 9 games. That's, wait a minute. No, that's 10 games. Excuse me. Probably ought to check that out soon. And the last one here. Drum roll, please. The Last of Us. I bought this right around it came out. Arguably the best game I've played. If you've seen my last video, you heard me talk about this extensively. Well, whatever. Yeah, it seems like Naughty Dog can't go in a wrong direction. They pretty much hit every last game out of the ballpark pretty much since the 90s, to be honest with you. But only recently have they been super huge. Like, it had a cult following, and then the cult became mainstream in a way, so now everyone loves Naughty Dog. As everyone should. They do a really good job. They're probably the best at what they do in telling stories in games. Not my favorite game, but it is arguably the best one I've ever played. And okay, got a stack here. Probably spin them around. My stack's leaning, so I don't want them to fall on the floor. So spin them around. And, well, okay, there we go. So anyway, there they are. Not a whole lot of variety if you can spot the pattern. A lot of Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, Insomniac games. I like what I like and I stick with it, rather. But anyway, there they are. Some better than others, some really good, some average or decent, so much. But anyway, there they are. Feel free to comment down in the comment section which one you think is the best, or just any of your favorite PS3 game in general. I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say. If you like this video, give it a like. I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. You obviously have no obligation to do that, but anyway, yeah, there they are. If you feel like leaving a comment, feel free to do so, and I will see you in the next video.